the stars above us.
Especially honored to be able to introduce to you our dear friend RJ. And he's going to be sharing this book with you. Buy it if you get a chance. His premier collection, Stars Above Us. Give a round of applause for our dear friend RJ.
This is a Bildungsroman
Of a boy trying to become a man, or rather a boy trying to become a real boy. Pinocchio becomes aware of his own strings that move him. Pinocchio falls when he pulls out his own life support. Geppetto teaches Pinocchio how to use a knife, an essential skill for a boy. Pinocchio cuts into his flesh to find inside a real boy. The boy holds a knife to his throat to show how words cut deep. If taken too seriously, both man and his analogy will be dead. Pinocchio wants to know the truth. There are worlds of string that pull him in any one direction. Which are the true strings pulling at reality? Which senses are the true senses? Pinocchio must snip to a ticking time bomb. Will his existential truth of being exist if he snips the wrong wire? Pinocchio cuts away it all, but what is essential so he can both propel himself forward and stand on his own 2 feet. The puppet dangles, lifeless from a wire. Suicide by cognito. Pinocchio wonders if his whole life was a lie, a performance he was unaware he played as actor. Virtual reality Pinocchio unplugs from his copper umbilical cord. Is he now a real boy? The boy has no strings attached, his devices to a virtual reality. The world does not feel real without synthetic touch. Pinocchio whittles himself into shavings. Pinocchio lights himself on fire. Robot Pinocchio errors each time he tells a lie. Is he only a real boy when he can lie without dysfunctioning? Pinocchio's hardwood goes inside a woman. It grows as he tells her his feelings. Does he know her in the biblical sense? Does he know? What would it mean to know someone? Is love another lie from some external compound? Look, Pa, no strings. Look, Ma, no roots. I am a man, walking the earth with neither the constraints of my nature being wood, nor the limits of nurture being raised a puppet. I'm a real boy. I'm a real boy. I'm a real boy. I'm real. I'm a real boy.
Hi, RJ.
Hey, it's me. Hey, Jacob. Cartography. Atlas breathes a sigh of relief. Ascending down to celestial heavens he held up all day, he covers himself in a blanket of stars for warmth. Warmth, that notion before it was one, unconscious of their being, yet to be conceived, a fetus in the womb. Atlas was born into a blank canvas, to map the terrain, to convey all that is into one interface, one for the gods to meddle in the hearts of man, this man to cast survey, the geo. To grow up a boy without earth and calloused hand, he held up the cosmos, yet could not bite into its molten crust to taste the nectar of its juice. Atlas in youth was spellbound by Sisyphus, a titan among men and great builder of humanity, admired the drudgery and mire, heels firmly planted, caught captive by pushing up a rock up a precipice to only fall down its fated path. Such elitist dreams are these for those caught in celestial spheres. Those celestial spheres, dwellings for Olympian gods, Atlas thought so noble to push up into the cosmos, to keep these deities away from man, or rather man away from them. Atlas, an astute student of stars, both astronomy and its myth, if only could capture the power of the heavens, to bring breath his blueprint, the Calopolis, to build the beautiful city, one he would reign king of all-knowing, all-being. Atlas wondered to himself, is he an archetype, an imagination of one in a child's eye, reaching for the stars above, holding them in their place. Atlas entered the playground where his steely eyes could roam. His hands reached out. They traced these orbs from the sky into patterns of constellations on the ground. Standing now above the heavens with what laid at his feet, the power of Medusa, he cast reflection, turning stars into marble stelae. Atlas tricked Medusa one more time. This time, instead of making her eyes wander up to the night sky to wonder and question, he held up and cast a series of mirrors on himself. He dressed in royal garb, king of Atlantis, soon to make his mark on clay and water, a potter to geoengineer the terrain he reigned. He'd be a just king over both God and man. Atlas cast his marble for game and sport into the constellation. He rebelled against the gods who tutored him on the cosmos. He was not the statue they etched, but his marble had power to move both man and God, to rule terrain through map. Atlas beat his pants! Atlas beat his pants! Atlas beat his pants! Atlas felt the warmth of urine, that all too human fluid turned cold into rage, swallowing up all of Atlantis by its waters. How dare Sisyphus say such truths to mortal souls? Now Atlas understood that his teachers raged when Sisyphus mocked them in the classroom. Atlas pushed Sisyphus back down the hill from which he came, his wrath brought forth fist full of plummeting orbits as remains, but Sisyphus persisted. Atlas beat his pants! Atlas beat his pants! Atlas beat his pants! Other demigods began to chant. Medusa, his only friend, casted her eyes at Atlas, turning him into stone. Unable to move, time stood still, but so did he. The warmth he felt, conscious thus unbearable, thus so naked, thus Cupid peeing in public at a town park with children laughing at him. The fountain poured out, but the boy stood still. Atlas loses his marbles. The gods took them away. They sit to retch on teacher's desk, on punishment on display. He must now, after school, after thought, after time itself, minute after minute, infinite unyielding, write chalkboard, moral dogma on gods of black abyss. He must maintain his stoic posture, rock etched for shadow cast, to convey timeliness and timelessness and eternity, for a boy of 9 must pass. Yes, that will be the day, Atlas thought, the hour after the hourglass. I'm breaking up, breaking down, breaking in, I'm breaking down, the break of breaking, breaking bad, break the breaks, I'm breaking mad, break beside, break with time, break seam pants, break dance on time, break bank, broken biggie snake, break the trust, broken to you by bust, you break my balls, you break my will, breaking all the systematic ill, break the weak, the meek, the meager, pandemic, outbreaking fever, breaking the time, plate, breaking disclare, breaking all before heaven shattered, break glass ceilings, break the record, break your biz, break your feather, Moses says go break your leg, don't break your back, and Mercial break into act. She takes cue of broken mirror, broken girl. She breaks bread for a broken world. We break the curse, breaking news worse. Break open that wine, break faster than night. We dine in hell from broken bones and broken arms and baby before we broken boy. With broken dreams, broken dragons, broken promise, broken dreams. My psychotic break with the heart, break the system, continue, amend and start. Give me a break, break down, break while you break free, break through, break from the earth, broken anew, pour out tears and clouds, breaking thunder, shower, broken say, broken, you broke me. It's too much asking me, okay, with broken. She broke my heart, okay, and I cannot break yours open. Yeah. And then she awoke a bitch, no kiss can fix a woman like this. Took years to drink crusade to find that she was imperfect this whole time. She broke no law, committed no crime, but damn, she deserves being barren and rhyme.